Hi, everybody, and welcome to week 2 of Children's Literature and Language. I'm really excited for this week because we get to really dive into the meat of this class and all the materials. So we're starting what might kind of seem like in the middle, but we've got a reason for it. We're starting with different types of literature and some of the background on children's literature, and then next week we'll really focus on storytelling and how to read to children. And then after that, we're going to backtrack and go back to the beginning of language development and ways to develop language and literacy and things like that. The reason we're starting here, there are a couple of them. One, you're going to start a project in a couple weeks of book reviews. And so I need to make sure before we start doing those that you are familiar with good ways to pick and select good literature to be reading in your classroom and with children. So we want to do that. And I also want to start here because you need to be starting now, dropping everything. If you are not reading every day with your children in your classroom, hopefully, as I say that, you're saying, well, duh, but I've learned the hard way that not everyone has valued the importance of reading every single day with children in their classrooms and has not always made it a priority to read every day. And when I say every day, I mean at a bare minimum once a day. You should be reading with children. You should be reading in circle time, at least one book. You should be reading for transitions. You should be reading during centers if there are kids who want to read. In a perfect world, anytime a child says to you, read to me, you stop what you're doing and read. It would be an ideal world. I get that we can't do that when we've got lots of children around, but with your own kid, I hope you do. If they say, Mom, read to me, or Dad, read to me, do everything in your power to stop and read. Again, there's the real world, and I know it can't always happen, but reading should just be such a high priority, and there are so many reasons. In addition to the cognitive benefits of reading, even from infancy. And yes, I mean, even if you're in the infant classroom, you should be reading to them. But even in addition to the cognitive benefits, there's just so much social and emotional development that can go on through the lessons taught in books, but also just through the bonding that they can have with you as the adult while you're reading. Not just the physical closeness, but that's important too, but also the things that you can talk about based on what you're reading and just the discussions it can lead to. And I just can't go on and on enough about the benefits of reading with young children from a very early age until forever. Even big kids like to be read to. I taught high school for a lot of years, and they would love it when we'd stop and I'd read to them. They just don't outgrow it. They like to be read to. So, like I said, if reading is not at least one part of your every single day in your classroom, stop what you're doing now and find time to make time to put it in there. Okay, so I told you I was passionate about this class, and you're going to hear me say that over and over, and you're going to hear me emphasize just all the benefits of reading. So let's take a look at this week's module. Okay, so here we are, week 2. And this kind of gives you an overview of the week and what we're going to be learning about, which I also just kind of did, but you can read it as well. The objectives, we're meeting 2 NACCE key competencies this week, 5A and 5B. And we're going to accomplish these by reading the content designated for this module, viewing the videos that I've posted. You're going to have a quiz over the reading and videos. You're going to organize your learning and your own thoughts with a skeletal outline. You're going to engage with your classmates in class discussion, and you're going to go on a field trip to a library. Don't get scared. We'll talk more about it in a minute when we get there. All right, so this is a note taker called a skeletal outline. You're going to find one in every module, and it's designed for you to capture the main content of the week. It's helpful for integrating the content. It's helpful for integrating the content, and it's recommended that you use this to capture some of what you're learning because you'll use it for the assignments of the week and eventually for your key assessment, your learning plan project when we get there. We're not there yet. And there's an assignment in the module for you to submit this outline. So we'll look at the outline then and talk more about it. In your reading for this week, you've got a link to it right here. So I've gone ahead and included the whole book because there might be other parts of it that interested you. You'll see that we skipped some pages, but maybe you want to dive deeper into some of the history of children's literature or of libraries, and that's great. It's there for you. There are also so many helpful links in this book, and so you might want to use it for reference later on. So I've given you access to the whole book, plus, hey, it's a free book. You might as well have the whole thing, right? So I'm going to take a look at it. It's going to take a minute to do this because it's a big book. I can't remember what I wanted to point out specifically anyway in it. So I'll just go on, but you're going to read page 9, then skip to the bottom of 18 and go through 27. There are videos embedded in this book, so I think that's pretty cool. I do want you to watch those videos. Some of them, you'll understand better why you're watching them than others, but even the ones that you're not sure why, they're exposing you to good classroom practices. So go ahead and watch them too. So in chapter 2, page 9, bottom of 18 through 27. Chapter 3, pages 28 through 30, 43 through 45, and then all of chapter 4. When you're looking at the page numbers, make sure that you're looking at the page numbers on the bottom of each page, not at the top where it tells you which page of the PDF you're on, because that's going to include like the title page and the table of contents and stuff. So that'll throw you off. But here's this book. I think she's really done a really good job of putting it together, so it doesn't feel like a normal textbook. It's more interactive and colorful, and I think you'll like it. And then here are some videos I want you to watch this week. They're all pretty short. This one is one that's in your reading, but it took a couple clicks to get to the link for it. So just to make it easy, I put it right here. You're gonna take a quiz over the reading and the videos. You're gonna go on a scavenger hunt. And I know this is the one that might be a little bit scary to you, but I took it straight off of page 29 in your book, which says, go on a library scavenger hunt and find the following. One book of poetry for children written by Eloise Greenfield or Arnold Adolph. One book that's a Newbery winner. One book that's a Caldecott winner. One book about a science concept, whatever topic you want, just make sure it's for kids. And one biography written for children. So to do this, yes, you are going to have to go to an actual library. It can be a children's library or a library with a section for children. So you're thinking, I live in a small town or I work. So most small towns still have a public library. Okay, maybe not most, but a lot of small towns still have a public library. So if you're in Altus or Lawton, I know you're not worried, or one of our bigger towns, I know you're not worried. There are public libraries that you can definitely find and go to. They are open on Saturdays. So so if your work hours don't allow you to get there when they're open, that's fine. They're open on Saturdays. And if you are in a really small town and there's not a public library, there's probably still a school. And so you can make arrangements with somebody at the school to go visit the school library. Now that might take a little bit of adjusting with your work schedule or something like that, but it's just this one time. So I hope you'll do it. If this is something you absolutely cannot make happen, then I'll talk to you about some arrangements possibly, but I really want you to get your body in a library. And this is going to help you with your book review projects later on, because for your book review project, you're going to have to select certain books. And so getting familiar with the library and the librarian will definitely help you, because you might want to go check some of those out. There will be other ways to get the books too that we'll talk about. But so I want you to physically go to a library and you're going to submit pictures of while you're there. So I want a picture of you and the librarian together in the library. Um, Ideally, the library's name could be seen somewhere in the picture. I want you to make sure I can see the background to where it's clear that you're in a library. I'm sorry. I shouldn't record videos late at night. Sorry. Okay, so a picture of that, and um, so oh yeah, a picture with the librarian. Librarians, y'all love to do stuff like this. They love helping people find books. They love when people are excited about books. So do not feel awkward approaching the librarian and saying, "I'm in a class. Will you help me?" Because he or she's going to love it. This is what they do and why they're there. So have fun with that. Okay, and then I want a picture of the children's area of the library. If it's a public school, so it's all children's area, just find an area you like. Then for each of these things above, I want a picture of you holding it, not just a picture of your hand where I can see your hand in the thing, but like, hi, up by my face, or a selfie or something like that. So yes, find each of these things and then some notes. Like I said, the picture can be selfie or taken by another person, but I need to see you and the book. I want you to label and caption each picture, like, here's Mrs. Smith and I in the library, the name of the library. I like this section of the library because, and then here's a book by Eloise Greenfield. Here's a Newbery winner, and you might include the title or something. Okay, so you might not be familiar with how to get pictures from your phone into a document. So the way I do it is I would email them to myself, and then which you can do from your phone, just it depends on the phone, but select things to do with the picture, and there will be a way you can email it and email it to myself, open that photo or open that email on my computer, download the photos, and then I can go into Word and insert pictures. So here's a Word document. This is assuming you're using Word. It's going to be a little bit different if you're using Docs or something else, but they're all pretty similar. So insert pictures. I think it says image in Google Docs from this device. And then there you'd have your pictures and be able to double click and insert. So there it is. And you can resize it if you don't want it to be that big. Or you can leave it big. That's fine with me. So hopefully that helped some there. And you're not too stressed out about this, but I mean, just know that this is something you need to go do this week. Find a library and find these books. I'm really excited about this. I hope y'all are too. You're also going to engage in class discussion this week. Make sure you're familiar. I'm sorry, y'all. Make sure that you're familiar with the criteria. You're going to get full credit if you post within the first 48 hours of the discussion being posted. That is why I've actually waited. I think if I didn't, I will go in and do that. Yeah, see, this doesn't actually appear the day the module opens. The module opens on the 20th, but this doesn't appear until Thursday because that puts your 48 hours on Saturday instead of starting earlier. So posting by Saturday gets you your full points. If you don't, you only lose a couple points. However, if you don't post in time for someone else to respond to your posts, you're going to lose points because you didn't post in time for someone to respond. Now, that's not saying that 48 hours isn't time, but if you wait till the last day or two to post and nobody comments to you, and so then you can't write replies, you're going to lose points for not getting the replies done because you didn't give anybody time to respond to you. I hope that makes sense. Make sure that you're referencing the reading at some point or the videos. Make sure that you're including an artifact, and that's your discussion. Then that skeletal outline. So you're going to submit your notes over the chapter here using this outline, and you can either download it as a Word document, type your responses, and then upload it to Canvas, or you can print it, handwrite your notes, and then make it a document again and upload it to Canvas. Now, when I say make it a document, I mean create a PDF or something else, not take a picture of it. I'm not going to accept pictures. So here's what the skeletal outline looks like. Think it'll open. Maybe. Okay, so skeletal outline provides space for you to take notes as you move through the module. This will help you learn methods for being an active learner. You'll be able to refer to the notes that you take for assignments and projects. Y'all, I'm so sorry. I think it's also not a tired thing. I get in this weird, a lot of times yawning is about the pattern of breathing, not about being tired. And so I'm trying to remember all the things I want to say to y'all and talk fast so I don't use up too much of your time and say things before I forget what I was going to say. And it gives me a weird pattern of breathing and makes me yawn. So I really don't think it's about being sleepy. I think it's that I need to breathe. That's what it is. All right. So please use the skeletal outline to make note of what you would like to remember and perhaps revisit. Use it in the way that makes most sense to you, but do be thorough, submitting college level work and not just the bare minimum. These notes should make it obvious to your instructor, it's me, that you explored the learning content of the course. You may download this document and type it. We already talked about that. And then here it is. There's some notes for you to take about the readings, the videos, the class discussion, the scavenger hunt, and the extra credit that we will talk about on the next screen. Okay, so extra credit. This is not the right extra credit showing up right now. You're just going to look different than this. But you're going to have a TED Talk to watch here, and you can, this says 2 to 3 paragraphs, but for your class, it's 2 paragraphs. And it is going to close at the end of this week. So I will get that fixed. And that's it for this week. Oh, sorry, your Zoom on Monday. If you're reading, it could be different a different semester. Pay attention to the date that's in your module, not the date that's on the screen right now. Okay, so that's it. Thanks for watching. I hope you're excited about this class and this week. I very much am.